Hi, good morning. I thought I should probably stick some wood in the fire. I was gonna just make this quick video and then I was gonna go outside. But now I'm thinking I better add a little wood here first. Otherwise, it'll just be hard to start later. I love that Willem brings it in. We keep it out there. Not a nice woodshed on the deck. This is a treehouse deck. Oops. You almost went down. Oh, Matt, which way are you? Okay. So out there, you go around that corner and all in that area. Like I just put that stuff there to make a roof for the deck below it. Yes, there's a deck below this deck. Amazing. See other trees? See how snowing. Good morning, Umair Siddiq. Is that right? Oh, you should have seen the deer last night. We have so many deer coming now. Oh wait, I'm putting a log in the fire. I get very easily distracted. And you know what? I figured something out. You know how I'm always changing the subject? And my kids, it really bothers my daughter because she thinks I'm not interested in what she's talking about. And I'm only interested in what I have to say. And it could be that's true. But I don't think so. I think what it is that I am such an incredibly visual person that when I become unable to visualize something in a conversation, this just becomes words. And I'm gone. They've lost me. Something is more interesting in my mind somewhere. I put these on the edge. And if you put them close together, not too close, but if there's just enough air, then when it does start to flame, when it does start to burn, my dirty window, then the heat on one log pushes against the heat on the other log. Anyway, okay, so we'll leave that for a minute. Sometimes I go sit in that chair right there. The cushion is down. I have to do something about that. We're about to get 6 inches of snow. If you can see it coming down, can you see how much is coming down? Yeah, we're still here. When it comes down like that, you're gonna get a lot. We've already got a foot on our roof. You know, this is more than we've had in a long time. You know, it just doesn't stay anymore. You think that it's not getting warm, but Canada is now 3 degrees or 2.5 degrees warmer than it used to be. But we get so much ice. There's 4 inches of ice on the deck. Well, I guess I'd have to go look, but it was negative 11 Celsius this morning. It's been up to freezing late. Look at all those tracks. See if I can show this to you. The deer have been here last night. Oops, I can't show you the edges of it. There's so many deer last night. They came and I didn't put out, I had put out a bucket of feed, half a bucket, right there. And they stomped around, or maybe I had put it out here. And then there's a spot out there. Where's my finger? Okay, there, where I had put it. And then on the deck here, there was this big pot, line of it that went from the bedroom door all the way out to the edge of the deck. And then there were so many deer. And you know what I realized? There's this, should I turn it around? I'll let you keep looking at that. Isn't that a beautiful view? Look where we can see. I had never realized that, this is a very steep hillside, right? I call this sunrise hillside because the sunrise is right there in the summer. But now the sunrise is way over there. And you want to know what it does? It goes, I guess it rises here, and it goes like this. And then that's like high noon. And then it goes down like that. Isn't that something? Oh, look, I have laundry everywhere drying. Like my new furniture. I have to redo all the pictures on the walls. These I think are okay. Isn't it incredible? I just love where we live. I can't believe I happened to luck out and get this. I was actually able to find this when it was on the market. And the neighborhood is amazing. I have to go out there and I have to cover up the snowblower with those 2 buckets before we get 6 inches of snow. And I have to go for a walk. You can't see it right now, but this is the Kingfisher Trail. It's beside Fiddlehead Pond, and it gets to right there, and that's Teardrop Point, and then there's a road that goes in a circle, and it connects. If you look through there, there's a pond there. That's Serenity Dippity Pond. The highway is there. Serenity Dippity Pond and Grandma's Cottage, which is right there somewhere. And then they're both on that side going around. Then there's the alder teepee. You go around there, and there's the marsh woods all along it. And then there's Iceberg Pond. And then you come around this way. And then this is where Willem's garden was. Now his garden is in the island created by the moat. And that's Fiddlehead Pond. It's surrounded by fiddleheads, which we harvest. And this down here is Dead Man's Run, or what a mess, eh? Shouldn't have a mess like that. Shouldn't be looking at it from this angle then, because you've got to put the snowblower somewhere. I thought I would take this down. I made a path. Okay, so I was going to tell you about the paths. So I've snowblown a path. Actually, Kevin did it. So he snowblowed a path all the way along and all the way around the moat. And then I created, and we went to Grandma's Cottage. And then from there, I went to the pond that way. And I went to this pond over here. I went that way. And also, I went to the road, which is over there. That's the road there, I guess. No, that's the railing. Anyway, the road goes like that. And it goes that way. And then I went down the road, and then I went in. There's a stream right there, beautiful big stream along there. So I went on the other side of the stream, and I snow blew on the other side of the stream to the first bridge. And then in front of there's Kingfisher, there's the pond, so it's actually right here. So there's a big bench, a swinging bench. It's all made of metal. Somebody made it themselves. It's really cool. So in front of that bench, I snow blew right up along where my legs would be if I sat on there, and went past it and all the way down the stream to the other bridge. And I was thinking of going across the bridge, but it appeared that there was this 4-inch thick base of ice, at least 4 inches. And above that was a foot of snow. And I could snowblow into that, but the snowblower is very heavy, and this was way wider than the bridge. And I didn't know where the bridge was, and I didn't want to get on there with the snowblower and be off the bridge and have it break and my snowblower go into the stream. So I snow blew for about 1 meter from the edge, and then I came back out. So I wanted to take the shovel down. All of that was to tell you about this shovel. Good grief. So I want to take this down, and I want to shovel the rest of the way across that bridge. And then I want to take the snowblower down on this side, go around the moat, and then go in by Alder Teepee and make a pathway there. It's probably in here somewhere from this angle. don't know if I can see it from here. I can see something there. I can see a teepee there. It's in the fork of the tree, so it must be up there. It's not possible. Whatever. Anyway, and that's Cedar Hillside over there. And the deer live up there, and they live here. I mean, some of the deer just stayed for hours. They just were there. They just stood there. I think they sleep standing up. Sometimes they lay down, but there's always somebody that's sort of guarding, and they wake up so easily, the slightest noise, and they're wide awake. And they just do that. That's the way they live. So anyway, I had these deer, and there was one of them. I had a black face, and then a little white. Where are you? There you are. Okay. So it was black coming down the front, and then it had this white, like a half a ring across the top of his nose that separated his face from his black nose. And then up above, it was also two of these things that went over, but I don't know. I'll have to take a picture. I couldn't move and couldn't turn on my camera because the slightest thing, these guys were so skittery. But, you know, it was because I had the food coming, like, right up to the door, you know. I hope you didn't freeze that whole time. But anyway, so over there, the next door over. But they stayed. So there was this mother. So she was a mother with this black nose, right? And then the white line that came over and another thing. And she she had 2 babies with her. 2 babies. I was like, wow. Because she was kind of like her personality in her face, she didn't look soft and gentle. She looked stern and concerned. She was not a calm, relaxed deer. Not here on the top of our hill. Meanwhile, the other 2 deer, Softness and Softy, I love those deer. They're cool. Anyway, they came, and they were just as relaxed as sheep. You know, they were just calm, and sheep are not always calm. But anyway, they were totally relaxed. And they just ate all the way up to the door, right to the window, never worried about anything. They're so used to me now. I would love one day to be able to put my hand out and have them eat out of my hand, or to sit out there and have them come when I'm sitting. So often I'm down there by the pond and I see them. And they live there all year. This is their 2 acres. No, 2 mile. Is it a 2 mile square thing? Yeah. It's 600 acres is a deer's range. So I think about where that is and what is over there, and all these. This is not just a regular old flat place. There's this place behind me where you go over the hill and you go down the hill, and then there's this like mountain down in the valley, and you go way up to the top of this pinnacle. It's like it's a mountain down in the valley, and it's like, whoa, where did this come from? What kind of land formation is this? You know? Anyway, all of these hills here, they just keep going, and some of them are like fingers. Some of them, like, once you get back, let me show you out this window. I'm walking on the bed here. Nice to see you. Or nice to see me, I guess I'm saying. That's all the wires for my snowblower. So, out here, if you go over here, you go right from here. You go down the side of this hill, and then up Cedar Hillside, and then up here, this whole thing comes over there, and then it drops off. And see here where it drops off? So this is the edge of the hill. It goes from way over there, up there. And that white is not, it's not the right thing. Something is reflecting here. There. Okay, there's the top, where the end of the white is, right there. Okay, so the hill goes down here, up there, and this is the top of the ridge. Okay, so I call that Deer Meadow, because the deer sleep up there. You'll find many deer beds. You can see the line of the top of it. Up there, the edge of it. Okay, so you go down here, up there, and you go across that. That's only, 20 feet wide. And you go back down, and then way up there is another ridge. And then that goes down and up. And so it's like this big W, do, 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 do. And on the other side of Deer Meadow is this big, huge tree. You can't really see it. Where is it? So those are those trees. So it's here. So there's some trees in there, a big, huge tree. And there's a rope swing on it where the kids have always swung. Isn't that interesting? I guess not that interesting because we only have one person and no thumbs up. So perhaps I'm just rambling. I'm always just rambling. Anyway, so I'm going to go out there because we're going to get 6 inches new snow. And I want to go out there and walk these new trails that I made before they're gone. I made a lot of trails. You see, we've already got how much new snow? Well, that's not much. There it is. Just a dusting, really. Okay, what's on there? Or what's on this? Yeah, we got about a 1/4 inch. So I'm still good for walking out there easily. But by the time the snow is done, it'll be 6 inches, or it could be. But by the looks of the way it's coming down, it could very well be 15 centimeters. Actually, that's 7 inches, but I'm not going to think about it in those bigger terms. Not like when they get 14 feet in Nova Scotia. What do you do with that? How do you get out there? I mean, you can't do anything. I mean, my snowblower, their snowblowers, everything would be buried under 14 feet. Best you could do is tunnel out and up, or just go to the second floor. That's what you would do. You could, if it was like this, you could possibly get your door open, and this is going to have 14 feet of snow in it, and so you get that in here, and then you get all the snow back out, close the door, and then you would take it upstairs. Somehow you'd get it up the stairs, and then you come out on the 14th floor. Hi, Tim Scal. Nice to see you too. So I'm just talking about if you're 14 feet of snow, what you would have to do. So you'd get this, you bring it in, and upstairs, and then you'd have to go out. Oh, you could go out the door. There's a door on the balcony upstairs. I don't know if you can see the balcony from here. I always wanted there it is. Just the very edge of it. I always wanted to be able to walk on the roof. I just thought it was such a beautiful view up there, and I could have gone traveling. I could have taken a cruise or, done what old people do, but instead I added onto my deck because I like to have a deck. I just have always wanted to be able to walk all the way around the house. I still have not put any hats or anything on these snowmen, but it looks like today they're going to change completely. We're getting 6 inches of snow. Anyway, so I'm done talking about that. We haven't had any snow at all this winter. Is that right? Well, now wait a minute. Aren't you in Savannah? Is that right? You don't get snow, right? Or are you somebody else? Tennessee. Okay. Well, there you go. Hey, not too bad a lag. I guess if you're going to comment when you're watching a video, you've got to do some stuff. You've got to click on your clicker and go down and then go to the channel. And I don't know how you make comments on videos when you're watching them. But sometimes when you make comments on here, it takes a while because you have to find how to make it, how to put the comment in first. And so by the time I get the comment, it seems like we've got a couple minutes lag or something. Why is it doing this now? Does this mean that it's, am I losing it? This is my next challenge. This is all the papers and photos and documents from Mom's. There's 2 stacks of these boxes. Oops. And there's my grandmother's chair. It's probably Aunt Mildred's. Oh, look, the fire's ready. I'll let that do it for a minute. See, this is the Duncan Fife table I brought back. I'm going to mend this pocket. That's why it's sitting here, because this is the sewing. It's always squeaked like that my whole life. And look, clean kitchen. Can you believe that? It's been clean for a few days. Oh, except this part. Well, I guess I have to find all my things. My lids. I don't really want honey up there without a lid, right? That's clean. This is the best music for kids I've ever seen. It's the best. I used to play this in the car. Fisher Price. They loved that. I was watching a video this morning. I know, I loved my old one too, but I like this better actually. Now, I have all these little baskets I've made that I brought back from my mom's. Well, some of them were already here. Some of them are recent. But anyway, I was watching this basketry video this morning. And it was so nice. It was all these basket makers, and it was the UNESCO heritage thing for, this woman was interviewing these people for, see, all this stuff is getting packed to go and get stored at my son's. That's a clock. Look at this clock. Guess you can't see it. Too bad, so sad. Anyway. I opened up the railing there, and now you probably can't see it, but you can't see this side of the world. You can only see the other side of the hill. So here you can go out and you can go sledding right down the hill. I think I should try that before I tell the children to do it. Isn't that pretty? And see, from here you can see the other railing. I love that. I just feel like, wow, it's like this is the apartment building and I own the whole thing. I mean, I know it's really a mute. I'm so blessed. I'm just so blessed. I know so many people that are in desperate need. And here I am, so blessed. And it makes me feel somewhat guilty. And so I do what I can. I wear out my life in the service of others. Well, that's the idea. But no, that's not the reality. Hey, that wire is going to be really deep under the snow. And that can is going to be gone. I got things to do before I get 6 inches of new snow. I gotta get this stuff out of the way. I like sweeping it off there. Like that broom, just sweeping the snow. When it's cold enough, it easily sweeps. I love this area. I'm gonna call that forest bath. On the side there. Go in there. There's some stairs there, and you go right down in there. There's a chair. You can sit there and just forest bathe. There's a name for it in Japan. I mean, it's not a crazy notion that I came up with. Looks like my phone is gonna die. There goes the blue jays. I have to feed the. Yeah, I don't like showing people my house. I mean, here I am showing it on YouTube. I mean, what could be worse? But people that I know that are that have very little, for whatever reason, and I feel quite guilty that I want to share. I want to let them experience it. I guess look at that blue jay sitting there. Blue jays are very interesting birds. I think this is your current plug of favorites. Let's just plug it in. There, do you feel better now? Or did it work? Sometimes they don't work. There, now if I move you, will you stop? You're okay. Oh, I watched this awesome basketry video this morning. And they were making this kind of baskets. I mean, this is pine needle basket. But I read in a book the other day, I was reading to you, and they were talking about the raffia that you use. And you have to make sure your raffia is very, let me turn it around and do it this way. I have to do it this way now. I'm going to have to make it big here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the raffia, see how this piece is very narrow and the next piece is very fat? And that piece is very narrow and that one is too short, or short and fat and short and too fat. See, every one of those is a different shape. You are standing in what was once a woodshed you did without for a long while. I certainly did. It was quite nice. Well, I like it better now. My daughter and her children have been able to live here, so that was pretty cool, having all that room. Okay, so now, what I learned is that these are all supposed to be the same width. And that if you first, before you start using your raffia, see how skinny that piece is? And bigger, big. If you make sure that look at how tiny that little one is. Meanwhile, how huge that one is. Huge, tiny. Anyway, it looks pretty good though, because they're lined up. They do look all right. Why are you? There, that made you happy, didn't it? Oh my, look at the snow coming down. Okay, so I guess I'm going to I should probably wear snow pants. And I should probably wear mucklucks. Hey, you know what I did to the bottom of my mucklucks? They weren't very good on the ice. So, and in some places, just right here, there's ice just below the new snow the other day. It's been snowing maybe a centimeter every few days, which adds up. But I have this awesome trail all along the top of Hemlock Ridge. Hemlock side. Unbelievable. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put on my mucklucks, which I have glue. I put glue on the bottom of, so that, and that makes them stay, so they're good. So I'll wear my mucklucks and my snow pants and my red coat and my black mittens. And I think I'll find my green hat. I'll wear my green hat under my hood. And I'll put my poncho on top. Because no matter what I do, if I sit down, my poncho sits on before me. If I am doing anything, your arms are so much warmer under the poncho, which is on top of the winter parka. Amazing how much warmer it is. I love it. You know, I brought back things from my mom's house. Like this, for instance. I'm going to show you this. So I was packing up the basement, and this was one of the many things that was in my grandmother's, had come from my grandmother. It's china. However, the other side of it has a chunk missing. And so I was packing with somebody, and she just naturally tossed it in the garbage. And so I don't think she realized, but I went and got it out. And see it. Turn it around so you can see it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. These wires. You see? And yet, even though this really belonged in the garbage because it was broken, my mother kept this. You know, my mother brought this home from North Carolina, and it was packaged up since 1982 or 78. I guess it was 78. Maybe 82. Anyway, and so here I'm doing the same thing. I'm using it. Why should it stay in the cupboard? It's beautiful. And there's all these other little things that knickknacks, you know? Like these are Chinese, I think they're $5 each on the, according to the bottom. So they weren't my grandmother's, but they're cricket boxes. And the Chinese would have them. I think that's what that is for. Might say on the bottom, or maybe there's a piece of paper in one. That's what it is. I love watching it snow. Could watch it snow every day. Oh, I do. No, I don't. In Alaska, they have these poles that are 13 feet high, and the top has orange on it. So it's like these very, very tall poles alongside the road so that the snowplow knows where to plow. You know, and we get a dusting or a foot. We're getting 6 inches today. I've already got a foot. The bottom 4 inches is ice. It's going to be quite a flood in the spring. That's okay. So yes, I would use it too. It has special meaning also for you, and that's what counts. Well, now what is the meaning of it? Like, it only holds meaning because my mom said this stuff was my grandma's, and it says on the box. And so I never saw it at my grandma's. I don't know for sure it was my grandma's, but my mother says it was. Therefore, it has meaning. And these little things, they all have meaning because just because it's my grandma's. So strange. So the whole thing about furniture, I had no idea. Just make it smaller again. Oh, it is small. It's so weird. I never knew. I might as well sit back and relax here. I'm waiting for the fire to get hot. That's what I'm doing, so I can shut it down and go out. It's 8 o'clock. You know, I can't just sit and talk all day. Sometimes I can. Sometimes I do. I went to bed at a reasonable hour last night. Well, no, I went to bed at about 7:30. It's because I was falling asleep in front of the TV, and I think the reason I was falling asleep in front of the TV is because they talk, and there's no pictures, and there's nothing to relate it to. I have to make it all up in my head, and if I can't make up the pictures, then I can't see it. I don't process it. I process it for a while, but it becomes tedious and I lose interest. There's much simpler things that my mind would rather think about, and so it goes there. The default places. So I think that's why I fall asleep, because I can't visualize it. I have so much of my grandma's and great grandma's I adore and treasure, even though I can't take it with me. I know. It's just like this, well, like this little table right here. Look at this table. Oops, hey, it is really big. How come it's, there we go. Oh, there. Okay, so this table sat beside my dad's chair in the living room. And at the back over there was the charter communications, all the cable information. And there was always a cloth on the table and probably a piece of cardboard too. And I think this is a Jackson table. So comes from that side of the family. But it's not just a table to me. And I think if you sanded it all down and changed it, it would not be the same table. But this table, I really like it. It's been in my family, my house, my whole life. So it's kind of got a record of things that transpired in the room when I was in it. Yeah, it's made with these really old nails. These are the nail holes there. I think they're square nails. Oh no, they're not. Or maybe it was patched. Seems like this has been nailed a few times. And the back of it may have had trouble moving or something. Doesn't have a drawer. But I got these bookend things, and now I'm going to use those bookends, and I'm going to put books everywhere. I'm going to put bookends, and I'll put them across the floor underneath or on top of tables, and instead of just in bookcases. Now that's a bookcase that will be books soon. Or maybe that one will. Maybe that one will have too many things. We have to have somewhere for the boots. But that's a bookcase. That one was in the carport. I just took it. I had some room in the truck at the very end, and I thought, oh no, it was in the kitchen. And I thought, I've got room. I'll take that. Sometimes you leave them alone and then I get wild hair. Probably should not. I don't think that's what you meant to say, right? Oh, then you get a wild hair. I don't know what it means. Is that about this? Anyway, so I have these bookends. And so I can put books anywhere I darn well want now. Yes, fixing them up. You get a hair? That's what you said, but I don't think you meant hair. It's really hard talking these things down. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, today's Joanne Rafter's birthday. She's in Ireland. I went for a walk with Google Earth down her road one day while she was on the phone with me. That was really fun. Oh, like repairing is a hair? Huh. You get a hair. And this dish, this is interesting. This platter, I painted this. This could go underneath it, couldn't it? Oh, that's perfect. Now it looks like it belongs, the floor is decorated. Look at this. I remember this platter from when we grew up. My sister's going to be so amazed when she comes here. And everything, this was Grandma's lamp. I think it was in, I don't know if it was in the living room. Might have been one of her living room lamps. I don't know, it's not the same shade, I don't think. Anyway, wasn't it beautiful with blueberries? What does it say here? Stanzel Pottery, Trenton, New Jersey. Interesting. So my mother probably bought this when we lived in New Jersey, or it was a gift. Might have been a wedding gift. Because they had it from the time I was little. We've always had it, I think. There's a bowl that is similar. It's not a set, but it's nice. Boy, you know, I've got a lot of blue jays now. Hear them outside. There's whole bunches of them. Okay, I guess I better go, because I'm not getting anything done. Of course, I don't really feel like doing anything. Basketry and Weaving. Look at this book. By Catherine Pash. This is one of those heritage things that we don't need to lose. You know, and this is about things like weaving in the schools. Basketry and weaving in the school. In 1928, so it was taught how to teach in the primary grades. Can't open the page. Come on, page. Okay. In the last decade, so that would be between 1900 and 1910 to 1920. So this is copyrighted 1904. Wow. So in the 1890, in the last decade, it has been demonstrated beyond question that industrial art may be introduced into the schools without in the least lessening the efficiency and intellectual training. Its introduction awakens the interest of pupils who have special need of being interested, and it is helpful to both teacher and child. By it, the home and the school are brought into closer relations. The child in his early years has the tendency of primitive man. In his play, he that's me. Primitive man. Woman. Whoa, man. By it, the home and the child in his early... Anyway, isn't that cool? First needs were food, clothing, and shelter. Primitive man supplied the first of these by fishing and hunting. The grasses, bark, and skins of animals lent themselves to the rude construction of his clothing and shelter. It was so cool watching those people use bark today. I don't like using those other things. So there was one video I watched where they took handfuls of grasses, long grasses, and in fact, he shoved them through between the coils. He shoved a handful of these through between the two coils, pulled them up and twisted them, and then I think he just laid them down and carried on, and he did a new one the next time. He just seemed to keep putting in new... That's all he did. That was an interesting way to do it. It would be a quick way to make a big amount. Baskets are of two kinds, sewed and woven. 3-strand braids of raffia make the simplest of sewed baskets. You said that the table was in need of repair, and I was just saying that sometimes I refurbish when I probably should not. That is what they call getting a wild hair. Oh, interesting. You do something you should not. Ah, you get a wild hair. Thank you very much. That was cool. I like learning all these little things, you know? That's good. Thank you. So getting a wild hair. You know, like in the South, my friend from, I guess she's mostly from Gainesville area in Georgia. She said that you say plug it up. When the battery is low, you plug it up. You don't plug it in, you plug it up. And so I always say that now, just because I just want that to be something that I always say. And you cut on the light and you cut off the light. You don't turn the light on. You turn the light on when it's that kind of a light, you know. But you do kind of cut the light on when it's there, like that. Anyway, I gotta get going here. You do say that, eh? You plug up the light? Plug up the phone? Neat. Anyway, I'm ready to learn your phrases. I think they're cool. We say A in Canada. I love Canada. We're such a nice country. Such a nice group. So goodbye. I guess I should go. See ya. Well, hi, Jer Milan. I used to live in New Jersey. Jersey. Dawn, my car won't start. This is the New York operator. May I help you, please? Dawn, my car won't start. Hey, Jay Evan. Hey, Nancy. I just want to drop by and what? And say your videos are very nice and calming to watch. Your grandma? I can be your grandma. There are many people who say I am their grandma. In fact, I bet if I did a search in my email, I never delete email. Sorry. So I've got lots of email. But I have I'm a hoarder, really, and there are times I've needed to do things like that. But I bet I could do a search in Gmail for grandma or my grandma, and I would find wouldn't that be cool if I could find all the people who have said that I'm like their grandma or I am their grandma? Somebody wrote to me and said, it was some words I couldn't understand. Are you blah, 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 or are you dead? And I wrote back and I told them that I'm 64 years old and I'm running up and down hills and in great shape and I'm still making videos. And as far as I know, I'm not dead. I don't think I am. Because this is not quite what I pictured heaven is like. That's how I know I'm not dead. Of course, I could have died and gone to hell. But this is pretty nice for hell. This is amazing for hell. This is heaven. This could be heaven. I don't think you get pain in heaven. Wouldn't that be nice? There's a lot to look forward to, you know? Dying is the next great adventure. When I was talking to my brother in the woods, after he died, he came there, and I was talking to him, and I got this feeling, this overwhelming feeling that he was restless and wanted me to stop talking to him because he didn't want to stay there in the woods with me in the sunshine anymore. He wanted to go explore. I was holding him back because I was talking to him. Do you believe that? I don't know if I can or not, but that's the way I felt. That I just felt that he had such happiness, such joy, and for being there, and for how great it was there. And he'd had a really rough go of it. Anyway, so there we have it. So I'm going to go. My feet cold. That means I have to go get my feet warm. I have 2 pairs of socks on. The heat is turned down in here. Now I've been sitting here for a while. So many things to think about. So many things to consider. I've got to get out there before there is no more path to walk on. Such is living in Canada. Bye.